Towards the beginning of the Az Yashir, Moshe Rabbeinu praises God with the words, this is my God, and I will glorify him, the God of my father, and I'll exalt him. Chazal teach us in a number of places that this pasuk comes to teach us that whenever we perform mitzvot, they must be performed in the most beautiful manner possible. As the Gemara in Sukkot teaches us, it's based on this pasuk that we know we need to have the most beautiful of the arba minim, of the lulav and etrog. And it's based on this pasuk, the Gemara in Shabbat teaches us that we need to have the most beautiful tefillin, a beautiful sukkah, and even the crown that adorns a Sefer Torah. All of the mitzvot that we perform need to be done with beauty. And yet, there's a famous story of the Chafetz Chaim. Once, one of his talmidim, a student, the son of a wealthy merchant, came to the Chafetz Chaim to show him a brand new pair of tefillin he had just bought. The parshiot were written by an expert sofer, and the batim were magnificent, perfectly square, and made in the finest of fashions. The tefillin were without a doubt exceptionally beautiful. How much did these tefillin cost? Asked the Chafetz Chaim. 18 rubles, the student answered. 18 rubles, the Chafetz Chaim exclaimed. That's a small fortune. One can acquire a pair of kosher tefillin for just 1 ruble. Yes, the student responded, but Zek Keli V'Anveu, I wanted to have the most beautiful tefillin available to fulfill that added level of mitzvah, of glorifying and beautifying God. The Chafetz Chaim nodded and said, yes, my dear Talmud, it's indeed important to beautify all of the mitzvot. But did you ever think about the fact of where those 18 rubles came from? Were they also obtained by beautifying the mitzvot? There are so many mitzvot involved in earning money. We have to be honest. We have to be careful not to overcharge or deceive a customer. We may not charge interest. We must give honest weight and use honest measures. We should never demean the merchandise of others. When a person earns money by observing all of the mitzvot that govern commerce and uses that money to beautify mitzvot, said the Chafetz Chaim, that's indeed a way of adorning and honoring HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if one is negligent in conducting business according to the halacha and uses his earnings then to beautify mitzvot, that's hardly pleasing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A kosher pair of tefillin bought or an honestly earned ruble is dearer to God than a superb pair that was bought for money that was not earned by strict observance of all of the halacha. Added Rabbi Dr. Abraham Twersky as a postscript to this story that we have no knowledge of what prompted the Chafetz Chaim to make this comment to this student. Perhaps he was concerned that the father's wealth was acquired by business practices that were less than honest. However, the message is still important. We should beautify mitzvot in a manner that's pleasing to God as well as attractive to the observer. We need to live a life filled with mitzvot and use those mitzvot to beautify the mitzvot even more. We have the opportunity to fulfill Zeh Keli V'Anveu each and every day of our lives, not only by what we acquire, but by how we live our lives and the glory we bring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeh Keli V'Anveu Elokei Avi V'Aromemenu. That's not merely the words Moshe Rabbeinu saying to God, but also the motto that we need to live.